So today we are with Kim Newcomb. She's been the director of the Capital City Chorus for almost 4 years. And so we're just lucky and honored to have you and find out more about you, Kim. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Deb. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So thanks. So let's find out a little bit about your musical background. Do you play any instruments and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I would say that I am definitely most proficient in playing voice. And then other than that, I'm pretty good on the piano and I know how to play a lot of instruments because for my degree, I got a music ed degree and you have to take like instrumental methods classes because technically I am licensed to teach like band, choir, and orchestra, which just because I can doesn't mean I'm going to, but I had to learn how to play like the trumpet and the trombone and the flute. And what else did I do? I did the clarinet and of course like percussion instruments. And I played the violin and the cello and but all only in my instrumental methods classes. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I can remember taking those classes. It was entertaining to say the least.
Yes.
So where did you get your degree?
The University of North Texas.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your family. Are they musical?
Sure. My mom and dad live in Austin, Texas, and they are not musical. They are super big supporters, always cheering me on. My dad goes to like all of my concerts and stuff, still shows up to international every year and things like that. And but my mom's dad, I called him my papa. He was definitely the most musical, also a singer, and is where I think I got my singing abilities from. But I'm an only child. And yeah, nobody else in my family really sings. So I am lucky and thankful to have many, many, many musical friends to make music with.
That's awesome. So how were you introduced to barbershop and Sweet Adeline music?
Yeah. So I have a friend. Her name is Laura DeGraw now, but when I met her, her name was Laura Pyle. And she knew about barbershop from a very early age because she was a barbershop brat. Her mom sang in barbershop. And so anyways, Laura and I met at a retreat weekend for the Austin Girls Choir. So I sang in a local choir called the Austin Girls Choir, and we were prepping to go on a tour in Italy or like England and France. I don't remember where it was, but somewhere in Europe. And so it was like, this weekend, you're going to be working on all this music for hours and hours. And we were having section leaders come in. And so she came in and was the section leader. And I met her and she is like 7 years older than me or something. And then I had another friend who was just a couple years older than me because I was like 12 or something. And they were friends. So we had mutual friends. Anyways, she and I became close and she showed me a recording of Ambiance singing Rhapsody in Blue. And I was like, where do I do this? And then she immediately took me to her mom's chorus, the Austin Harmony Chorus, and I joined the next week. I was hooked immediately. So yeah, Laura Pyle showed me what barbershop was, hooked me with Ambiance, she actually took me to a men's chorus rehearsal afterward, like the end of it afterwards when they were singing tags and stuff. And I remember singing tags in a parking garage. And so I joined as soon as I possibly could and made a Young Men in Harmony quartet with her too, real fast. So that's what got me hooked. That's how I got started.
So what choruses have you sung with?
Oh, okay. So I sang in the Austin Harmony Chorus. And then I took like a year and a half off of barbershop because it rehearsed the same nights as the Conspire Youth Choir. So I didn't do it for like a year, but I was still doing quartet stuff. And then I moved up north for college, north as in like North Texas, not North, where I am now. And I searched to see what barbershop courses are near me, and it was the Rich Tones. And my mind was blown, and I immediately went there the next week because it's the Rich Tones. So I sang with the Rich Tones up until I moved here to Indiana. And now I direct Capital City Chorus. So I guess I've only sung in a couple of choruses, but sung in lots of quartets.
Well, and I know that leads me into my next question. You sing, not only do you sing with the ladies, but you also sing in a mixed quartet, half and half. Can you tell us what the differences or similarities are?
Yeah, great question. So I think that the difference between those two quartets is as different as any other two quartets that you might sing in between, right? Like I sing with the same vocal technique and performance and all sorts of stuff in both of those quartets. It's just sometimes a different part of my range. And actually not even that, because I sing baritone in the ladies, but tenor and half. So those are pretty much the same range, because with a mixed quartet, like half and half, that happens to have 2 women and 2 men singing in it, we tend to have to sing things just a little bit lower than where a typical SSAA arrangement might be. Or if we were taking a TTBB arrangement and wanted to bring it up, it would be somewhere in the middle, right? But range is all the same. I think that there's a lot more similar than different between those two quartets. And the biggest differences are just based on like who we are as people. Having Cy Wood and Jenny Sheets in half and half gives us a really cool perspective when it comes to performance, because they have a lot of experience in musical theater. And, singing with Caroline and Ashley in my ladies quartet is a whole different experience, because their background is like really classical music oriented. We all met in college at UNT, and then I met Quincy earlier, and that's how we all ended up getting together. But as far as different and same, I would say they're pretty much the same, or as different as any two quartets that you could find.
And so do you find that what you learn in one quartet, you take over and share that experience with the other quartet?
Yes, that's a good question. I think so. I think that even if I don't say it out loud, I internally take an experience I had with one quartet and transition that learning to the other one. And if it's something that was impactful for more than just me in either quartet, I might mention it back and forth. Or, it's just like referencing any other experience from another ensemble I've been in, in my past. So, yeah.
That's great. So, what do you find rewarding about directing Capital City Chorus?
Oh, so many things. I think what I find most rewarding about directing Capital City Chorus is that I feel like we're truly a team of people working together. Like when so like I mentioned, I was in the Rich Tones chorus, and I got to be a section leader and I got to lead warm-ups, but watching Dale Syverson work every week is very much like, wow, those are some big shoes to fill, because she's so talented and a great educator, right? And so coming here and having my own chorus to mold and play with and all of that stuff, it was a new experience for me. And I was really nervous that I wasn't going to, be enough or provide enough, because I had like these really high expectations from being with Dale. And my chorus has just been so overwhelmingly supportive in so many ways. And I really never feel like I feel like we've cultivated this really beautiful safe space where communication is really important, and I can be open and honest with them and they can be open and honest with me. And that is the most effective way to have a really healthy rehearsal, a really healthy performance, a really healthy ensemble as a whole. So I think it's most rewarding that we're a team, and it's not I am there to lead and decide and make all the decisions. It's always a conversation or a discussion, and I have lots of people to lean on that are very capable in every position. So many things. I love them.
That's great. So do you have any hobbies other than music?
It's a very funny question, because the answer is no. I don't do anything except for music. I guess hang out with friends, but almost all of them are barbershop friends. So we end up singing tags anyways.
I love it. So, do you have any words that you live by or a philosophy of teaching that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I don't know that I have any specific words that I live by, but my philosophy is definitely about being a servant leader. So making sure that I am serving whoever I am teaching to the best of my ability. I feel like that idea forces me to learn and grow much more rapidly than it would if I just assumed everything I knew was exactly correct. So, being a servant leader and then also really working to cultivate an environment where everyone feels safe. Because I know that a lot of times people come to our rehearsals just to get away from the woes of the world and they need a safe space, right? And so I want to do everything I can to make sure that people feel valued and like they can be authentically themselves. And I know we've had a lot of conversations around that kind of over the pandemic. I think lots of things have popped up as human rights things are coming out. I know that the song assessment toolkit has been really helpful in bringing awareness to the content that we're singing, and that has helped in a couple specific instances in my chorus. And I think it's just been a really beautiful growing opportunity for us, and a large stepping stone on the way to cultivating a safe space for everyone, just in one aspect. But yeah, servant leader and creating a safe space is kind of my.
And I think a lot of the conversations that we're having are awesome as far as creating that safe space, and just having that conversation is leading us into a good spot, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like for so long we didn't feel, and I don't know if we feel comfortable even yet, but for so long we didn't feel comfortable having the conversation and like talking about, this makes me feel like this. Wow, I had no idea that made you feel like that. Let's do something about it, Right. So I totally agree.
I think that's great. Well, I'm, for one, am glad that you moved north and are a part of our Region 4 community of directors. You are just a bright star and just a joy to be around, and I love you. So anyway, so anyways, it's been great talking with you, and I hope you have a great holiday season, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. You as well.
Bye-bye.